Hello chess enthusiasts, my name is Miha and welcome to my chessrealm YouTube channel. So today is 23rd of May, the birthday of Anatoly Evgenievich Karpov, who turned 72 today. Karpov was a former world chess champion and positional style player who sometimes showed his attacking side, and this is what happened in this game against Veselin Topalov. Karpov had white pieces and he started with d4, knight f6, c4, c5, and we have Benoni defense. White usually plays d5, but here Karpov plays knight f3, transposing into English opening. C captures on d4, knight recaptures, e6, g3, knight c6, bishop to g2, bishop to c5, a double attack on the knight on d4. So knight goes back to b3, attacking the bishop. Bishop goes back to e7, knight c3, black castles king side, and white does the same. d6, bishop to f4, and now black plays knight to h5, trying to drive this bishop away. And naturally, white cannot allow recapturing with pawn, because the pawn structure around his king would be weakened. So white has decided to give up on a bishop pair and plays e3, reinforcing the bishop, also attacking the knight. Knight captures bishop, e-pawn recaptures, bishop to d7, queen d2, queen b8, further protecting this d6 pawn just in case, and also preparing action on the queen side. Rook from f goes to e1, and now g6. Maybe not the best move. Black weakens the pawn structure around his king a bit, but enough for white to play h4, preparing advance of an h-pawn, harassing black king. Black plays a6, preparing a b5 pawn push, and white also advances with pawn. h5 was played, black responds with b5, h-pawn captures on g6, h-pawn recaptures. So black is probably thinking, you're gonna grab my pawn, I'm gonna grab yours, then I'm gonna advance with this pawn and with others also, and so on. But here in this position, white strikes with a nice tactical blow. Knight goes to c5. Now bishop is under attack. Black removes the bishop to, let's say, c8, then bishop captures knight. So maybe queen to c7 would be the best option. Of course, white can gain a pawn by capturing on a6. Rook recaptures b5, forking both pieces, but after rook b6, c-pawn captures on c6, bishop recaptures. White is a pawn up and has two passed pawns, but black has bishop pair and also one passed pawn. So the position is rather equal. In the game, d-pawn captures on c5, queen recaptures bishop on d7. Material is equal, but this was a fatal blunder. So white queen attacks two pieces. Bishop is protected by the knight, so black cannot remove the knight, and moreover knight is twice attacked. Rook to c8 was played, defending the knight. Well, white cannot immediately capture the knight with bishop, because then rook to a7, attacking the queen. After white removes the queen, well, all squares from where the queen would protect the bishop are taken. So after white removes the queen, then black recaptures bishop, and the position is equal. In the game, white strikes black with a stunning move. Rook captures pawn on e6. Well, black doesn't capture immediately. Rook to a7 was played, attacking the queen, but white doesn't remove the queen. Instead, rook captures on g6 check. So white is asking black to accept this rook sacrifice. Well, black has to accept it. Let's see, after king f8, for example, then queen h3. If now f-pawn captures rook, then queen h8. Check king f7, the only move, and bishop d5 checkmate. And in all other variations, black is lost. So in the game, f-pawn captures on g6, queen to e6 check, king g7, and now bishop captures knight on c6. So white is exchanged down but has a deadly attack. Bishop to e4, grabbing this g6 pawn, more exposing black king is the plan. So rook goes to d8 with the idea rook d6 protecting g6 square. C pawn captures on b5. Well, black cannot recapture because the knight jumps on b5, attacking the rook, who cannot go anywhere on the 7th rank and still has to protect the bishop. So in the game, bishop to f6 was played. Now rook doesn't have to protect it anymore. Knight to e4, double attack on the bishop and the c5 pawn. Bishop goes to d4, protecting both pieces, and now b pawn captures on a6. Now rook on a7 has to protect the 7th rank, so rook cannot capture on a6. If rook captures pawn on a6, then queen e7 check. If king h6, then king g2. It's gonna be made there. There's nothing black could do about it. If king g8, then knight g5, preparing to mate on h7. So rook to a7 won't have to be played, but then queen e4, targeting pawn on g6. Even if black defends with rook g7, then bishop to d5. Now here rook would have to capture, but even that wouldn't save the black. If king goes to h8, then queen h1. Rook h7, queen h7, mate. If king f8, then knight e6, forking all these pieces. White is winning. It's mate in 12 moves, actually, so the computer says, but I'll leave it for you to find it. In the game, black plays queen to b6, preparing to capture pawn on a6. Well, white cannot currently deliver any useful check and desperately wants to play queen to f6 to continue the attack. So rook to d1 was played, preparing to eliminate this bishop on d4. And maybe black should play c4, protecting this bishop, still keeping some control over f6 square. Black, however, grabs the pawn on a6. And yeah, now you can imagine what happened. Rook captures bishop on d4. Both rook and pawn can capture, but the result would be pretty much the same. In the game, rook recaptures on d4. Now queen to f6 check. Now king has a few options. Let's see, if king goes to h6, then queen f8 check. Now here black has to defend with rook, because after king h7, knight f6 check, mate. If king to h5, again knight f6 check, mate. So here after rook g7, knight f6 again, threatening queen h8, mate in 2. If g5 trying to create escape square on g6, then f pawn captures, king recaptures, queen captures rook. King to f5 is the only move, but then bishop to d7 check. Rook has to capture, and white has decisive material advantage, because the only other move is king e5, then queen e7 check, queen e6, queen e6 check, mate. Okay, so in the game, king to g8 was played. Queen to g6 check. King has two options. Well, if king goes to h8, then knight f6, and black wouldn't be able to do much. So king goes to f8, queen to e8 check. King to g7, queen to e5 check. Again, black king has a few options, but with king in the open, there are so many tactical possibilities, so there isn't much to be done here. King h6 loses instantly, for example, then queen g5, king h7, knight f6, king h8, then queen g8 checkmate. So in the game, king g8 was played. Knight f6, check, king f7, and bishop to e8. The king has two options. If king g7, then knight d7 discover check. King h6, then queen h8 checkmate. If king g8, then queen g5, king h7, knight f6, and here black has to give up on a queen, or there is mate. There are other variations, but in all of them black is lost. In the game, black plays king to f8, and now queen captures pawn on c5, check, and attack on both rooks. Black has decided to preserve the rook on d4, so queen to d6 was played, queen captures rook on a7, queen to f7, checkmate is a threat, but queen captures knight on f6, there's no more threat. Well, bishop and 5 pawns versus rook is definitely decisive material. Bishop to h5 was played, rook d2, b3, rook b2, and king g2. White probably needs some time, but in the end would definitely win, especially on this level. In this position, however, Veselin Topalov had enough and resigned the game. So I hope you like this game, I hope you have learned something from it. If you have any questions, my email is below in the description. Of course, I invite you to visit my Instagram page. That's it for now, and see you soon.